Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in
Shade
the
in the
City.
City.
I am your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are jumping into our very late review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I do believe it is episode, this time, because I was wrong last time. This time it's episode 13. Last time it was 12, and I said it was 13. So I was wrong then, but I'm right now, I promise. Now, yes, so let's get into it, y'all. And of course, the ladies bring the shade, and we just make it shadier. Let's get into it. Let's get shady. Is preparing for the Jamaica trip. Sheree is having a meeting with her She by Sheree show staff. I did not have their names, please forgive me, to explain the type of models that she's looking for. Now, Marlo says that the boys will be back at her house when she returns from Jamaica. She seems kind of excited, but at the same time, kind of like, oh, I'm about to go right back into this. Now Drew calls Kenya while she's getting her eyelashes done. It looked very scary. And Drew, I don't get my eyelashes done, as y'all know, so I don't know nothing about this. It looked scary.
She was getting individuals.
If I got to do all that, I wouldn't want to do it. Hence why I don't. Drew talks about Sonya's rules for the Jamaica trip. And asked Kenya what she thought. Kenya says she didn't take her too seriously because we all know Kenya's going to do what the hell she wants to do anyway. Now, Drew said her decorations were giving Party City, as we do know. They then go on to talk about her 3 rules of hosting a successful party. Now, Kenya says that your balloons can't look like they were purchased from the dollar store. You also, number 2, need to hire a caterer who does not serve you food that look like ashy feet. And number 3, if all else fails, hire Kenya. And I'm kind of with on that. As we know, Kenya can throw an event, host a party. So, yeah, you might want to take them tips from Kenya.
So Kenya basically says after all these rules, and Sonya telling people how to behave on this trip, she want to know where her and Drew are. And Drew says she ain't really got no problem with her. She just come to the realization she just can't make everybody happy. Okay. Kenya lets her know that she was planning on bringing her cousin, but she hasn't been feeling well, so she may just be going solo. And Drew was like, well, Sonya shouldn't be, forcing nobody to bring anybody. Kenya don't give a damn. She's super excited. She's like, it's her birthday, and she's just gonna go solo. She don't care about what the hell Sonya's talking about. So then we get over to Ross and Sonya, and he said he getting his body right for the trip. She like, hold up, sir. Around me, you just regular degular.
Right.
Why you got to do all of that? Around the house, you looking regular. But she said she was just joking. Now, apparently, Sonya's brother-in-law, Tyrone, is in the house with them. He's also Ross's best friend and her sister's husband, and he's training them. I guess he's a trainer. It's super cute because they even got the little boys doing the push-ups and working out with them, trying to get their bodies right. I like this whole little fit family, the family that works out together. So Sonya sits down Ross and mentions, like, did you talk to the guys about the trip? And he says, no, not yet, but he has some activities planned that they have at the hotel that he plans to do with them. And he's
the ladies
like,
can go off.
I'm gonna just take my boys. We're gonna go do our shit. Y'all stay with y'all drama. And Sonya's like, ain't gonna be no drama. Not on this trip, okay? Not after Sheree's party. Everyone is going to get along here in Jamaica. Speak it into existence, boo.
Wishful thinking, but that's okay.
Exactly.
So we see Drew and Ralph sit down to have a conversation. She tells him not to cut the AC up higher. And he says he needs to, or her wig might lift. I was like, the shade of it all. Damn. From your own husband. Now, Drew can't even say anything because apparently her wig has lifted before. Now, she instructs him to run her fingers through her new wig. It's a nice blonde joint. I was like, okay, Drew, give us the look. But he says he prefers what he calls Sasha, which is easy to pull and looks very nice and silky. So she talks to him about the Jamaica trip and says that she feels like it would be a good opportunity to talk about his book. She talks about everything that Marlo is going through with her boys, and he says he thinks it'll be also a good time to talk about Josiah. Now, Drew says in her confessional that he had promised her and her mother that he was going to adopt Josiah, as we know, only to have a conversation with his biological father, who said he's not here for it. And, he's just not here for it. So basically, Ralph has changed his mind, and he feels that a piece of paper won't really change anything. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that because I feel like it kind of does, but okay. So, and then obviously, he's like, well, I just need you to follow my lead, and he really wants her to like support him on this book. And she's like, I don't know if I can fully do that because you're out here writing a book and I still have no idea of what the book is about, Ralph. What is the book about? And so then I think we see the publicist, Audrey, show up at the door. And so her and Ralph sit down with Drew in his office and they talk.
Like, I wanted to do it right this time, after the assistant incident. I wanted to make sure they got together.
Right. So he introduced them and he sits them down and basically Drew is like, well, I have anxiety. You're over here talking about my child, the child that I birthed. And I don't know what you're saying. I don't know. Now, what I will say is they cut to Drew in confessional and she's like, well, I just don't know if it's going to be bad and speaking badly about me. Audrey tells her it's a book that basically is going to be, dedicated to the fathers out here. But she does say that she would like to put a family photo on the back cover of the book, which Drew thanks her for. But again, reiterate, she has no idea what this book is about. And then Ralph comes in and asks her, well, I would like you to write the foreword for the book. And although Drew is honored, she's like, I feel weird writing a foreword about a book and I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, she's like, she can't totally get behind it because she doesn't know what the hell it's about.
And Ralph made it clear that he has no plans on telling her.
I guess you won't get that forward because I feel her. Husband or not, sir, I don't know what I'm writing or what I'm writing it about because I don't know what the hell the book is about. I don't know what I don't know. It's weird to me, like the way he's moving. Like that would be something.
Right.
Like
right.
you would think that would be something he's excited to share with his wife and get her support. But the fact that you're like keeping it a secret and it's such a big deal. Ain't this his first book?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird. That's weird to me. Sonia has arranged for everybody to get picked up by the Sprinter vans, and it's so that everybody's on time. She want to make sure everybody get there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's funny that she's the one that said this, and Ross done forgot his passport, and he got to go back to the house and Uber to the airport, and hopefully he make it in time because he was not prepared.
And we all know that, as Drew said, you can take a plane out to where they live. It's
exactly. So she goes to pick up Marlo, and she has her plus one, Adrian, which is her friend and florist. She said, it's like, at least, he'll be bringing some beautiful flowers rather than some DICK. And she feel like that's better. I don't know what type of tree. I don't know.
I look, when she said it, I was like,
that's because she used to the old meat. She used to that old meat.
I guess so.
That's what that sounds like.
I guess so, because I was like, I would like to give you a okay, girl. And I was like, no, okay, girl.
No, you said no, okay, girl. No, okay, girl. So then Kenya gets picked up and lets them know that she, at the last minute is solo because, her cousin is sick. And she said she's gonna borrow Sheree's friend, Michelle. Okay, that's gonna be they're gonna have to share her. So finally Ross found his passport and he made it to the airport just in time before they take off for Jamaica. Okay. I feel like in between that, no, I'm sorry. Let's not. So they touch down. And Sonya says there's just something about Jamaica that makes her, feel home. Her family's history and everything and the people. She feels like she's back home. Apparently she used to travel there all the time. I think she said like 4 or 5 times a year or something like that. Now Sonya asks Kenya what happened to her plus one, and she lets her know that her guest got sick, and Sonya's little shady ass in a confessional, because we know she ain't gonna say the shit to Kenya's face. Okay. She's just basically like, it's giving you just
It's really weird that like she was sick and now somebody she knows is sick, and there's a lot of sickness going on around here.
Like basically the math ain't math. And I was just like, oh, okay.
I was gonna say you sound real Marlo-ish. That's what you sound like.
You gonna hear about that at the reunion.
Oh, and speaking of the reunion, please make sure that you guys like
and subscribe.
And if y'all did not know, Sheree Whitfield was out here on live this weekend. Somebody who does not get on live, who didn't even know how to shut off her live, was out here walking the streets of New York with the one and only Martell Ho. So now, as we know, there's supposed to be an item, but it was giving very forced, very faked, didn't seem natural. He, oh my God, I missed my flight. And then I think the Shade Room posted something about them being together out in New York, because Sheree, why I got to the reunion is because she's out there filming it. And Ariane Coleslaw came out and commented it in the Shade Room comments and said, well, I'm so mad I had a baby by this man. He was literally just eating my ass from the back yesterday. And I was like, that sounds so much like Coleslaw when she goes off.
Not in the Shade Room comments.
It was very interesting. I knew Ariane was gonna come out the woodwork and say something. She's too quiet but apparently she said in the comments, you lied, told me this was just business. So anyway, as I said in, I believe, the last review, it's giving very fake. Like Kandi has already called it out and said he tried it with one of her friends, and now here we see it with Sheree, and they posing and just, I don't know. Somebody made a good point. It was like, in a new relationship, don't you usually kind of keep that to yourself? So the fact that the first thing you think to do is run and get on live, and that's not even what you do, it does kind of look like it's a PR stunt.
Well, okay.
But if it works, I will say they make a beautiful couple.
On the bus, Sonya asked everyone to introduce their guests. And of course, Kandi and Todd. Marlo got her florist, Adrian. And Kandi said, Marlo got something to say about everybody's relationship, but she don't never bring nobody around. She don't want nobody to meet the sponsors. Okay, she brings her florist. Magnetta, she brought her husband Heath.
Heath looked like he got a little flavor to him.
Yeah, he did.
I said, like, it was funny because when I saw him, I was like, I see how this can work. I see how this can work.
Sheree, we know she brought her friend Michelle, the one that Kenya said she was going to share. And Drew and Ralph. Sonya said, yes, I'm sorry, it was 5 times a year. I'm seeing it now. She used to come 5 times a year, and basically, like, she would have to have all the cops and stuff around her, I guess, like for security.
Yeah.
And I guess that was a different time. She was like, that's when I used to run. So Todd asked, like, you ain't never wear your medals around your around your neck like Mr. T? And she was like, nah, homie, like, I ain't. He was like, he was like, that's what I used to do when I used to run too. I used to take them off and give them.
Todd is so stupid.
So they arrived.
That's the one thing I give him. Even if you ain't drinking, Todd, you're still funny.
Yes, he is. So they arrive at the hotel. Sonya says that she organized personal gift baskets for everybody. And she did something special for Kenya, since it's her birthday. She got rose petals put all over her room for her, which I thought was super cute. Apparently, Todd is not drinking, but this Bob Marley drink that everybody is getting passed around has him tempted. Okay, but he's sticking to his guns. So they all hop on a golf cart to get to their rooms, and Kenny over here making googly eyes at some man she done passed. Okay, and you know what? I listen.
I'm not mad at Kenya getting her group.
Listen, I like the fact that Sonya was the wingman. She turned that thing around. She like, look, hold up, everybody here got somebody. We about to bust this you and go get this man's digits. Okay, so they do that. And Kenya says that she's not trying to get her groove. What'd she say? She's not trying to get her groove back. She's just trying to get back in the groove.
Right.
Okay, so
she said you got to go half groove. You can't go full groove. You got to go half groove.
So
as all this whipping it is going on around the resort, Kandi is irritated. As we know, Kandi don't play about her food. And she says she's ready to eat. Now, once they finally make it to the actual, place where they're supposed to be in the resort, with the actual suites, I think it's really cute, or not cute, but funny. Marlo asks Ross, so, did she chase him down? And Ross was like, and she was like, see, that ain't shit.
She's like, we know he didn't approach her. She approached him.
I was like, but Marlo, but who approached you?
You want to hear what your whole floor is, lady.
And then I love how they joked about it on the bus. She was like, oh, that's just my floors. He's like my brother. And he was like, oh, I thought we had something.
He said, I thought we was like family.
No, he said, I thought we had some like playing and like messing with her. He wasn't serious.
Oh.
Like, I
thought say, what?
Yeah, no. And then that's why Kandi made that comment. Of course, she will never bring a sponsor. She don't want us to see them. But yeah,
but I know the ladies, they were definitely impressed by their accommodations.
They were. It was definitely not Party City.
They weren't expecting much after the party. So they were definitely impressed. But keep in mind, this is sponsored by iFit and not by Sonya. So
yeah. No, and apparently Sonya lets us know that all the rooms have been set up, or she has assigned all the rooms based on how they've treated her prior to the trip.
They said Drew is about to be in a closet.
Right. So poor Drew. I hope she is not trapped in the closet. She gets to her room and sees the beautiful surprise Sonya has set up for her. And she's like, oh, this is nice. As she's getting ready for dinner, John pulls up looking good. I thought it looked good. Now, he brings a small gift for Kenya, which I didn't really see what it was. Did you see what it was?
It was a Red Bull.
A Red Bull?
Gives you wings. Apparently that's what I'm thinking, because I was confused too. I'm thinking that's what she asked for. I'm thinking she asked him to bring her a Red Bull. So I didn't even call it a gift. He had a Red Bull in hand.
No, because she was just like, oh, thank you. Like, it was so like endearing. Like, I thought.
Yeah, and she split it and asked if he wanted some. So it was a Red Bull.
And Kenya, you better leave them Red Bulls alone. You ain't heard about Kevin Samuels? Better leave that shit alone. Anyway, so rest in peace. No shade. I'm just saying, rest in peace. Now, John, she says she feels like John is a good guy. She just knows. Then Bravo being their shady self with their
They are so shady.
Run through all of Kenya's tumultuous past relationships.
Which was everyone that was on the show.
Talking about.
It was literally every relationship that was on the show.
That we've seen on this show.
Bravo is so shady.
Look, people, if y'all thought that Bravo was working for you, let me tell you something. Y'all work for them, okay? Y'all have not realized. Y'all work for them. Nene realized the hard way, but y'all work for them because they will throw y'all under the bus quick when they good and got in. Now, we see everyone showing up for dinner. Sonya and Ross arrive first, and Drew and Ralph show up next. Now, Drew tells Sonya she loves her room and jokes. Did she mistakenly switch her key?
Mm-hmm.
Sonya says, no, I'm forgiving. And she says in her confessional that she's not going to try to speak on how she feels on everything. And, try to give them some space to grow since they're in a better place. Kenya rolls up with John and all the girls have something to say. Now,
Marlo, the only one that says something shady. Oh, she done picked up a stray.
right. Drew says them Ruth's gonna get sweated out. And Kandi laughs at the fact that she wouldn't bring a +1, but still brought a +1. And Marlo says, Harpo, who is this man? Now, Sheree sits at the table. She starts questioning John, asking his age. And he's like, well, how old do I look? And, he's taking a minute. And
I think he got 28 and 32.
And so he's like, oh, well, I'm 37 and Kenya's like, okay, 37, I can do it. And producers are like, well, Kenya, what happened to you not wanting to date a younger man? Kenya's like, no. I never, you gonna have to run back that tape. I never said that. I never said that. I said, I take him between 30 to 60 and he falls right in line. I said, well, then Michelle's question.
Look, I won't even take him between 30 and 60.
Right. Then Michelle questions whether he wears boxers or briefs.
Apparently he goes commando.
And he said he goes commando, y'all. And Kenya's like, is that why there's this extra leg under this table? I said, who is this Kenya?
Right.
This is Keyonce. This is who Kandi was talking about. This is Keyonce.
They said she gets real girly and sweet around a man, but she's shady around everybody else.
This was giving driver roll up the partition. It was giving Keyonce.
It was so unexpected.
And even Sheree said, like Nell said, she gets so feminine and soft spoken, but when them motherfuckers leave, Jesus Christ, watch out.
So first of all, I would like to say, apparently, they are loving their energy here in Jamaica because a whole nother table bought them a bottle. And,
right?
Marlo being shady again, she was like, oh, I thought it was from John. Girl, look, that ain't her sponsor, okay? That ain't her sponsor. Relax. Relax.
Right. He just added Marlo.
So, who was it that asked?
Oh, Sonya asked Marlo. She basically asked about the boys and said, what's up? What's going on? And Marlo is like, and you could tell, and I don't know why it is that every time we see Marlo alone, she seems to be perfectly fine. And then every time she gets with the girls, now all of a sudden she's just so distraught and the boys are on her mind, even though she's sitting in Jamaica on a lavish island, chilling, talking about, sitting at a nice, probably 5-star dinner, talking about that's not being sponsored. Oh, I just don't want to talk about it right now. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So then Sheree goes to ask Ralph about his book.
And he says that, it's going well, that he wrote about Josiah, his stepson, who he claims to be his real son.
Right.
And, like the journey that they went through. Now, Marlo tells him that she thinks it's amazing
the adoption.
That he's going to adopt Josiah, and Ralph corrects her and he's like, I'm not going to adopt him because he doesn't want to do anything to disrespect his father, and his father is still in his life. Marlo apparently,
of course, is triggered by this, and growing up as a foster child, and it hits home for me. And she doesn't want JoJo growing up feeling like he loves other kids more than himself, and questions how could he.
And Candy's like, that's weird. Like, this is just weird to me because, like, after, like, you need to worry about yourself and your own situation because you put your whole nephews out. So now Marlo is in her feelings because she's like, why would she even bring that up? And I mean, because that's your situation. You got the nerve to talk about somebody else's. That's why. Now, Ralph says that, like you have
the tables turn.
Right? He was like he has to, like, they have to understand that he has two fathers, and he's trying to help him navigate that versus it'd be like, I'm your daddy and that's it. Now somehow that translated to Marlo that he was not responsible for him full time. I don't know how.
Again, Margot being triggered by her own stuff, making it about her.
Kandi's just like, how is he not responsible for him full time when he lives with him? Like, lady.
And again, why are you so involved in a business when you just sent your nephews back?
Exactly. So Marlo was like, oh, you may think it's weird, but I think it's weird that your mother comes before your man. Oh, why the hell she do this? Kandi was like, nobody said my mother comes before my man.
And
worry about your own situation.
That's like apples to grapes. Like, what are we doing?
Because we know that she takes low blows. That's just what she does. It doesn't have
nothing to
anything
do
to do with it. She just takes low blows. And Monyetta
I just wish it made sense when she did it.
Monyetta's completely confused because she's like, how
you
are y'all friends? And like, she's always hitting below the belt. Like, always. And Marlo says, oh, you don't think it's weird that you let your man be belittled by your mother?
And then Kandi brings up her bringing the boys, sending the boys back, which we all know was going to start a fire.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Marlo started this fire.
No, she did. But then they go back and forth. And then Todd, you know, she's like, I like you, Todd. I really don't have, it's just Kandi I can't get with. She just, you know, now Sheree says she's neutral. She's not in it. And yeah, no, Kandi says she tried it. And basically
Todd said, when she said that to Todd is basically like, he thinks the fucked up part is you're repeating some bullshit that you know is not true. Because Marlo mentioned that Kandi's taking care of him.
Yeah.
So, of course, now she got Todd and Kandi triggered.
Well, you didn't hear when she said, she tried to say, she attacked Kandi and said, well, you can't possibly be a good mother because you work too much, but you're a provider. And that's how it got into how she provides for everything.
And everybody at the table was like,
and so they were like, lady. Don't everybody work? Don't everybody got a job? Don't you got a job? You got a job? You got, oh, we all work.
Let me tell you something. What got me was, long story short, okay, Marlo had the nerve to tell this lady she is only known in Atlanta. She said, bitch, I'm worldwide.
Okay.
I said, Kandi, you better let her know. She was like, when we was over in Japan playing karaoke, they was playing my songs, and not just the ones I sang, but the ones I wrote. And I don't know, everybody knew.
Everybody can agree that,
except for Sheree somehow. She don't know that Kandi was a part of it.
Well, Sheree is shady and clearly confused because she's messing with Martell Holt, or at least pretending like she is. So
she was like, well, I mean, she was on Broadway, but that's just New York. I said, Sheree, come on now. Come on. And then Sonya basically, she breaks all that shit up. She's like, look, I want us to end this night off properly. Like, we ain't doing this shit. She let I you know what though, I like that she let them, you know, have their words, get out what the fuck they wanted to say. And she's like, we're gonna end this night off properly. And both of the ladies apologized. I think they still said some shady shit under their breath, and that was it. That was the end of the dinner. But it got heated. And I will say, 1 for Kandi, 0 for Marlo.
Agree. Oh, and John got up and left. He said, I ain't about this.
Oh, yeah, he left.
He got up and left. So Kenya done lost her little appointment for tonight. Poor baby. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another review of what show?
Real Housewives of
Atlanta. Thank you, co-host. Please make sure, if you have not already, that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
You guys, we appreciate support. Let's keep glowing, growing. Share us with your friends. And we will catch y'all next time for another review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Mwah. Good night.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe.